Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Corey, Randy, Jason, and Jaimen. We're joined this week by Mike Swartz and NEFA President Eric Wilson. Eric, so how did you first discover disc golf?
My younger brother introduced me to the game in 2014 after 2 years of trying to coerce me into going. I play pretty competitive adult men's league basketball. And because I was toward the end of my basketball life plan, so to speak, I knew they weren't drafting 34-year-old NBA players. So when I first described it, I thought he was talking about landscape barrels, like the big green barrels that you see landscapers use. And I thought he meant trying to throw a frisbee into that and moving it around the woods. I was like, I have no plans for that at all. That sounds awful. And he's like, no, you'll love it, dude. It's not like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it. So it took about 2 years. And all his friends were into it, and they were like, you should come out and play. And they drugged me out to Borderland on a Saturday. And I want to say it was in the winter, cold as shit. And sorry if I swear, cold as anything. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. What am I going to do out here? And I threw everything like most beginners, 30 feet, but 50 feet straight up in the air and hyzered it out. And I was like, I'm terrible at this. And by hole 5, I had some miracle luck happen. We were playing the Whites course, and it's a short, maybe 270 hole. And I probably threw it, 50 feet or whatever. And I grip locked this destroyer. Clearly shouldn't have been throwing a destroyer. First day playing. Grip locked it, threw it around all these trees. And I got to watch it forever, it felt like. And I threw it in. And I was like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. I'm going to be amazing at this. I was a radio show host at the time for a commercial real estate radio show out of Money Matters Radio Network. So I was getting out at 11:30. So I would play every day 3 rounds. I probably played 365 days. I probably played easily 1,000 rounds in my first year playing. On weekends, I would get up at 6 and go play 5 rounds in some terrible course. And so that's how I got kind of involved in the game and just completely addicted. Day 1, 5 holes in.
So you mentioned Borderlands. Is that where you're from? That's Massachusetts, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually from Marshfield originally, which is on the coast between Boston and Cape Cod. But Borderland and Burgess and Cape Cod are the closest 2 courses to me at the time, which is 45 minutes to Borderland from Marshfield. And Burgess was 50 minutes.
Is Borderlands, I don't think I've ever played it. Is it short enough? For your first time out, was it overwhelming or does it have a shorter layout?
Yeah. So 2 things. One, I think the Borderland elite would be very upset if I didn't tell you there's no S on Borderlands.
I was thinking
they'd really be upset with me if I didn't mention that. So I'm going to throw that out there. Not that you can't keep saying S. I'm not a diehard. But there's a white to white. They have 4 layouts, 2 different courses. They have a blues course and a white course. And of course, you can play the white tees to the blue basket and the blue tees to the white basket. So you have 4 different layouts.
Like Warwick.
Yeah, very much. I think it was actually one of them was designed off the other. It's kind of the same idea. The white course, I want to say, is a par 54. I think the longest hole is 400 feet, hole 2, and everything else is 330 or smaller.
Is that the course you play the most? Is that your home course?
In the beginning, yes, for sure. But the funny thing about disc golf is when I first started, I probably played Borderland once or twice a week. I played Dacey Field out in Franklin probably once or twice because that was a newer course. And as a player who had never thrown a Frisbee prior to, 2014 or 2013, whatever year it was, I was terrible. I wish they had MA4 when I started because then I probably would have been the bottom of that barrel as well. When I started, I actually joined MA2 right away. I was an 815 to 840 rated player. I threw maybe 50 feet straight up in the air most of the time. Most of that distance was height. But I probably played Dacey the most because it wasn't really packed and I didn't have to pass people because I always felt uncomfortable. Hey, you mind if I play through so I can go hit first tree available and then the next tree and the next tree and you guys can watch me pass you, which I ran into at Borderland because it's a very introductory course because it was kind of in a dead zone. There was no other courses really around.
What was your first disc?
My first disc was given to me by my brother, which is weird. It's a Judge. He gave me a Judge, and then he got me the starter pack that had the Wolf, the Beast, and an AVR.
Pretty sure I got that same starter pack.
Yeah, and so I I loved the Wolf, even though, it was terrible. I threw the Beast a lot, especially in the beginning, because I thought, I needed to throw a high-speed disc because that's what everyone else was doing. The funny thing is the Judge was one of my first discs, and I really liked it. And then I took it out of the bag for some reason when somebody introduced me to a tank. And the tank was like an overstable putter. And because I had such bad form and everything hyzered, it saved me so many shots because I'd throw it so far right and somehow I'd come back toward the basket. So that was my first disc, was a Judge, but then I got the starter pack right after that. And they probably stayed in my bag for maybe a month or so. And then I went out and I went to Marshall Street at the time, back when it was in his basement. And I bought my first Buzz. That must have been right in the beginning of 2014. And the 10-year came out and I fell in love with the Buzz.
What was your first organized disc golf as far as was it a Dubs or a tournament?
My first organized disc golf was a Dubs. It's tough you'd think I would remember this. It was back-to-back weeks. It wasn't like I had time. I played the Vineyard Open, which is a terrible story for my first disc golf tournament ever singles, because I went down there and I was so excited. I forgot my sneakers in my car and I got on the boat with my boat shoes. I wore boat shoes and I got over to the Vineyard and it was snowing and I was wearing boat shoes. My feet were frozen and I probably shot, 700 rated golf. And then it might've been either the week before that or the week after that, I played the Minuteman Borderland Dubs, which I actually still have one of those discs in my bag today, which is awarded. I got my PDGA number 10 days after playing. I remember it. So I can't remember which one. They were both in March of 2014, which was my first tournaments.
What is your PDGA number?
66055.
Oh, okay. Nothing too interesting there. So that's a fine PDGA number, I suppose. And it is 5 digits. I mean, that's also...
Today, if we talk about it, people think it's oh man, you must have been playing for 30 years. They don't realize that when I played, I think it was 66, and then 2 years later it was only at 80,000, right? We only had 20,000 players over 2 years, and then right at COVID, it was we had 140,000 players. So now people, a lot of my friends that I play with in MP40, that's one of the great things about MP40 is you'll get to play with players who might have 20,000 PDGA. And then the other guys who just found the game, they're in their 40s and they got, 200,000. So that's kind of a cool little huge difference in the game itself.
I thought it was funny. I'm 110582. So you figure it took 30 years to sell 100,000 numbers.
Right.
And it only took maybe 5 years or 6 years to double that.
Right. It's crazy how fast the game. I think social media has really helped as well, just because of all the reels. If you watch one video of someone throwing a disc, you're inundated with just disc golf right after that so much until you're I'm going to give this a try. But 11,000 is, when did you sign up?
110,000.
Oh, you're at 110,000. Okay.
Yeah. 11,000. Geez, I probably would have been 9 years old when I got my PDGA number.
That's some of the things you see, right? Some of the guys I play with now, I think Sandy Red got his numbers in the 30s, and there's some other guys that I play with that are in the 20s. Tim Walsh, Mike DeSalt. They've been playing since 1988 or whatever it is. And you're you just get to hear the history while you get to play those rounds, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
When you guys have some of those, was it Greg Hiltz?
Greg Kurtz.
Yeah.
Father time. I think he might have PDGA number 1.
He's up there for sure. I know he beat me in a team challenge, and I was so distraught for weeks.
Greg Kurtz is 27,735.
Wow, yeah. So. And that's probably signed up. So that's half of what I am, or just under half. And he probably signed up 20 years before me.
Well, you were saying, I think I signed up 2 years after you. Was it 2014?
2014 is when I first got it. Yeah.
Actually, so a year after, and I'm only 70,000, 772.
That's what I mean. It's so crazy. The 10,000 in a year, and now 10,000 goes by within 2 months.
Yeah. So did you ever run any events, like a Dubs or a tournament?
No, I've never. Taking on NEFA is my first introduction to actually giving back to the game outside of being a volunteer or, a tag holder at numerous courses. I've never done a tournament director or I've never run a Dubs tournament.
How did you get involved in NEFA?
I got involved in NEFA because I'm a pretty avid tournament player. I think I average somewhere between 25, 30 tournaments a year.
I like that.
Since I started. And I'm friends with Bob Kolchuk. He was part of the first year I ever played. I played a tournament called the ACT Championship in Connecticut. And the first round of the card, they always did like, it was all for amateurs, of course. I think it was the amateur championship tournament or something like that, but called ACT. He was on my card. He was the MA40 player, or he might have even been MA1. But I was MA2, and there's another MA2, and there's like an MA3 guy. But he was the best guy on the card. So like clearly he was immediately my, rabbit, and I was the greyhound. I was like, I gotta catch this guy. Who is this guy? And we became friends ever since. And he would talk to me into like doing a lot of the traveling with him, because I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a huge traveler. So we became friends, and then he was the NEFA president for I think the last 5 years. And before him, a lot of the guys in Borderland, for some reason, that seems to be the hotbed, which was like Matt DeAngelis or Rob Tatro. Those guys were all, NEFA presidents as well. So I always knew what NEFA was. And we got to talking last year. We were playing around, Bob and I said, how is NEFA not bigger? Like in terms of bringing the best players and creating this almost a localized pro tour for our pros who have families and can't get out and go on tour, but they could travel and go across the 6 or 7 states, and everything should count toward it, and we can have like a real championship at the end of the year. And he said, that sounds like a great idea. Do you want to be NEFA president? And, we both laughed just like that. And it was like, I was like, yeah, no. I mean, why? You don't want to be NEFA president anymore? And he said he was thinking of stepping down if he knew someone would want to take the mantle. And I said, you know what? Yeah, why don't I? That was like last September. And a month later, it's like, hey, by the way, I just put you on a ballot and I'm sending out to all the NEFA players. Like, oh, so we're serious about this. Okay. And that's kind of how I got involved with NEFA.
Was there like a vote and everything? Were there other nominees?
Yeah. So I'm guessing. I mean, I never even saw the email, which is funny. But I went to a putting league in West Boylston out here in Mass. And they were like, hey, I just want to let you know I voted for you. Some people said, no, I just want to let you know I was absent from the vote. I just left it blank. And I was like, okay, I don't know why you tell me that, but whatever. I know that I talked to Wads, and he was either going to be president and I'd be vice president, or I was going to be president and he would stay vice president. And I think he was kind of like, what do you want to do? And like, I kind of laid out what I want for NEFA. And he was like, yeah, I think you should be president then. So that's kind of how it went. And I think I got like 85% of the votes. And there was a few write-ins and things like that. But I don't think anyone else actually like put their name in the ballot. But there was supposedly a vote, because I believe all officers of any charity have to have a vote. That could also not be true. I don't know.
How do you get into NEFA?
It's simple. You just go to nefa.com and you can join the membership right there on the website. If you're new and you've never been a member, there's 2 ways, really. And I think the most common way for most players is someone actually vouches for you and they pay for the 2-for-1, which we usually run toward the end of, or I should say the beginning, actually, because my calendar's all messed up. But the beginning of the NEFA season typically takes place September 1st, which is kind of a weird thing, but I think it's just so that they could have the championship in October. And like some people still run tournaments after the championship, and they want to be able to include those into point series. But you can go in and either you can join as a new member at $25, or you can be part of the 2-for-1, which is 2 members join, as long as a current member puts you in there for the 2-for-1. You get in for free, basically, unless you guys do like a $12.50 thing. That's how I got into NEFA as well. My friend was like, hey, I'll get you a NEFA number. There's a 2-for-1 deal. You just pay me $12.50. I think I actually gave him a disc for it. But now that I'm actually part of NEFA, even though I was always fine giving the $20 every year, just because I knew it was one for charity, whether it was going to be for educational grants or course grants or, pretty much whatever they were doing, I never did it for the point series or to be a part of the NEFA championship. I always thought very much like I did when I used to just go to courses and buy tags. It was, if I pay you $20 for your tag and I don't live in the area, you're really not going to get me to do a work day. So I would always just buy tags for $20. I probably right now in my bag have like 10 or 11 tags from all over the state here. And I usually try to take the lowest tag, not the lowest number, like 110 or something. Mm-hmm. But typically, like if you bought 100, I'll take the 100th, because I probably won't make your monthlies. And I probably may go to 1 or 2 leagues if I have the chance. But I want to buy a tag so that they can support their course and do the coursework that's necessary, and buy the tools or upgrades or whatever they need.
Okay, so I also got in for the 2-for-1 special. I think Kenji, Discat president,
yeah,
Kenji Klein got me in. And then since then, I believe I got 2 or 3 people in, one of those being his son, Brandon. So I remember he asked me, I might have made a comment. Like usually every year we make a post like, oh, does anyone want to join NEFA? You know, we can get you in for 2 for 1. And I think Brandon asked me if I could get him in. And I probably made some joke like, couldn't ask your dad for it.
Right.
So we know how to join NEFA. Mm-hmm. Why would someone want to join NEFA? You already mentioned the point series and, you know, slightly where the money goes, but
yeah, I would say there's 2 reasons why you join NEFA. One is for the betterment of the community, which is the grants. So of your $25, 8 of it goes toward grant money, right? So if we bring together 500 players, there's $4,000 right there that we can give away to courses that need it, whether it's upgrades for signage, T-pads, baskets, you know, whatever the course may need. So you're a part of that, which means you're helping the community as a whole accomplish the goals that we all want, which is better courses everywhere. And then there's a selfish reason, which is the point series. If you play tournaments, if you want to get into the NEFA championship and play in this, you know, an exclusive tournament, which is typically, you know, some of the better players all over the different point series, if they can travel to it, which is a really cool thing. So it's kind of a twofold. But honestly, I think it's just for the betterment of the overall community so that when you do travel or you do have friends and you want to go see other courses that you know that they're getting the same, so to speak, TLC that you're used to at your local home course.
Are there any local courses that have taken advantage of the NEFA grants?
Well, I mean, just in New York, in 2011 was Wolf Woods, Warwick. 2012 was FDR. 2014 was Kisco. 2015 was Minekill. 2021, Taha got a grant. And then in 2023, OK Disc Golf.
Yep. Okay, so not really, right? No.
Yeah, not really.
You named 2 courses that are local to me, so that's awesome.
I hear that question a lot. Maybe a lot is a little exaggerated, but I've definitely heard the question of why would someone want to join NEFA just like locally? And the first thing I say, well, it's only whatever, $20 or $25. If you're playing local tournaments, chances are you could be getting NEFA points to where you have a decent chance to where the points standings at the end might recuperate some of that. So, you know, your investment might even be lower than that. But still, if you've played any local courses, or at least the ones that Mike just mentioned, you're benefiting from NEFA. So if you have $20, $25, joining NEFA is certainly not the worst idea of something you could do. It's actually pretty good. And you've more than likely reaped some of the benefits that NEFA has provided over the years.
For sure. I mean, I get that question all the time. Why would I join NEFA? And I always think of JFK. Like, that's not what the country's going to do for you. But what can you do? We're asking for $20. And the thing is, it's $25 the first year, and it's $20 after that every year, which is basically the same price for a tag, right? Most courses charge $20 for their tags. You're putting that up. And again, now I understand like people like, I might not play that many tournaments. I might not do those things. But it's for the betterment of the overall community, which you are a part of. Why wouldn't you want to invest your $20 there knowing it's going to go back to the community? It's not like it's $20 going in somebody's pocket and you might not get anything. Somewhere in this region is going to receive that money that you've put forward. So anytime you see a NEFA sign on any of those courses, you can take pride and know that you were a part of it. That's the real reason you join NEFA. The other parts are all just added bonuses of stats and tracking you and seeing what your points are, which are really cool. And I appreciate, Danny White who does that and Seth Wilson who does all the stats, and they put their time into it to add more, bonuses for people to join. But really it boils down to giving back to the community that supports it. So, you support the community that supports you.
Eric, you said that basically you sign up kind of like you're donating, buying a tag or whatever. Correct. But have you ever qualified and or played in a finals for
Yes,
NEFA?
I played in I think all of them. Because again, it's usually in October. The tournament season back then, of course, my first 6-7 years, the tournament season usually kind of wind down right after like Maple Hill MVP Open now, but it used to be called Vibram Open. And you didn't really get too many tournaments that would go on after the New Hampshire States or something like that. So October was always like a blank month other than Team Challenge. So I'd always play the finals. Last year, I went up to Maine to play it. My first year that I really got paid for it, I went to, I think it was base camp up in Vermont.
Killington?
Yeah.
That was my first.
Was it 2016, was it?
It sounds right. Yeah, they have the hanging basket, like hole 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was
forget the hole.
2015.
Oh,
Was it
2015?
2015?
I think that was my first NEFA championships.
Yeah. I just remember waking up in the morning. This is back, before Waze, I think. Looking at my GPS and I was like, oh my God, this is 3 hours, 45 minutes away. Like I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, Vermont's not that far from me. It was 2 hours. And I was like, I had to leave at like 3:45 in the morning just to get there because I never played the course. And I drove up there and I got an envelope from Rick Williams. And he's like, oh, here's the money you made in the point series. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. I got money in the point series? Like I was a terrible player. I just remember being like, how did that even happen? I think I finished like 4th or 5th or something, It was probably only like $40, but that was like the first time I ever felt like a winner, even though, I didn't really do much. I just probably played. I must have had some decent showings in my 5 tournaments or whatever, where I finished like, 4th through 8th or something. And I just remember driving there. I think I left at 3:45 in the morning. I didn't get home till like 8:50, 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, wow. And the whole time I was like, this is pretty awesome. Because I was just so excited about getting that envelope this is before I knew who Rick was or any of this stuff. I just was part of NEFA because I think that was Matt DeAngelis, wasn't it? Who was running it then?
Yeah, Matt was the TD that year.
Yeah, so I've always kind of been a part of it, and it was always much bigger to me than the PDGA because to me, the PDGA, even though it's a global thing now, when I play, I don't think about like people playing in Wisconsin, but I do follow everybody that plays in my region. So I do follow the New York tournaments. I do follow the Vermont series. I do follow all of those tournaments, and I always have.
So if you sign up for NEFA, how many events to qualify for the tournament? Do you know?
It's 3 to qualify for the tournament, 5 for your point series. And with today's flex events, like I can't imagine as if you're someone who's considers yourself a serious player, even a weekend warrior player, that you don't get 3 events in through the year.
So I first really started seeing your name from your like pre-tournament hype up posts on NEFA.
Okay.
And then I also see there's a Seth Wilson that seems to do the post-tournament recaps.
Correct.
Are you guys related or?
No, we're not related. But Seth is, he was like the first person I asked to be a part of NEFA when I talked to Bob about taking over NEFA. Because he, this kind of write-ups he does now for like the post-tournament stuff. He was doing this for this little putting league in Fitchburg. And I was like, these write-ups are great. Like he was talking about like percentages and all these stats and stuff. And his nickname was Stats Wilson. So I just reached out and I was like, hey, you want to put that on a bigger platform? And he was like, yeah, all for it. And I brought him into NEFA. And then he was like, NEFA's not even ready for me. Really? Like, there was nothing. When we first talked to everybody, they were like, yeah, we kind of do it this way. And then this guy does this. And like information was just everywhere in different people's hands. And we were like, that's not going to work, right? Like you need to have that information accessible to everyone so they can all do a little piece or whatever. So Seth kind of was really excited for it. He's done a lot and he could do so much more because, that's just kind of what he's into. And he got the PDGA like Stat Mando Gold membership because we reached out and said, who we are. We're NEFA, we're a charity. We'd like to kind of highlight our tournaments based off of the PDGA data. And at first it took a little while. They were kind of like, no. And then I sent them an email stating like I was the president. This is what I wanted. Here's like what we need in order to continue to grow. And we build courses here that only benefit both of us. And within like an hour, he got access to it and sent me a thing saying, oh yeah, I have access now to, PDGA. And so from there, I told him I'll write all the pre-tournament stuff and you just write all the post-tournament stuff. And we've kind of been a two-headed monster. And most people think we're related, but we are not. Just both addicts of disc golf.
That's what I thought. I don't remember seeing the NEFA page really being all that active other than as a place for New England tournament directors to post like their disc golf scene links or whatever.
Yeah.
So why do you continue to do it? Like, what do you like about making those posts?
Well, it's kind of the same thing as I think about like before a tournament for myself. What gets me excited about the tournament? Like I'm thinking about playing this weekend. I start thinking about the course. I start thinking about the event itself. I think about the other players. So I was thinking along the lines like, I can't be the only one like this. I can't be the only one come a Tuesday during the week that's like, can this work week be over? I want to be playing disc golf this Saturday or Sunday or whatever. So I thought twofold. One, as a tournament director, right, you're paying $2 a player to be sanctioned, regardless if they're NEFA or not. So I thought by giving you a pre-hype tournament and giving you post stats, it's a better incentive for the tournament director to be like, I want to be a part of this because I want my tournament getting that kind of accolades and the spotlight it deserves because I'm putting in all this free work, so to speak. And so it was really more for them when I first started it. But then now people who are players also say, you know, I'm excited. I can't wait to see, especially if they're playing in those tournaments. They like to read those things. And just kind of a separator too, right? Like no one else really is throwing out pre-tournament hype pieces or post analytics or highlighting players' rounds. Like some players can go win a big tournament right this weekend and you have no idea other than their social media post saying, hey, I took down first, right? But it doesn't really talk about, you know, what they went through. They're actually the tournament round itself. That's typically left for the car ride home if you carpooled or the post-round beer that you guys share at the car and you talk about, oh, hole 8 ate me up or, oh, I birdied hole 6 and you get to talk about those things. And those typically are the best part of the game itself, right? Like I think that as most players, you like to come back from the round and when you unwind, you like to talk about each other's round and hear stories of cards you weren't on and things like that. So I wanted to kind of bring that to NEFA. And it kind of goes back to the old accolade that the best newspaper that's read is the one with your picture in it. And hopefully going into the 25 season, we can actually put all that stuff on player profiles on the NEFA site. That's the end game for 2025 is to make the pre-tournament hype and the post analytics on the page. It's on the NEFA website itself.
And Mike, is it true that every disc cap event is NEFA sanctioned this year?
Every single disc cap event, which I think is 11 this year. And as I'm just putting in the last 2, we are officially over 100 NEFA events for the season.
We are right now?
Yeah, we're at 101.
I wonder what the record is.
We're going to say, for the sake of the podcast, 101.
Yeah, right. It's probably it.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm sure we've already asked you this, but since you're spitting so much knowledge, what is your relationship with NEFA?
I joined not long after I joined the PDGA in 2015, I want to say, and didn't really compete that much until 2017. And then when Jeff stepped down as the New York, New Jersey rep, I said, well, why not? I'll throw my hat in the ring.
So what does that mean? Like, what is your day-to-day regular business activities in association with NEFA? What is your title?
New York, Jersey rep, which mainly means I chase down TDs that don't pay their fees, which is easy because most of them are disc cap.
Oh, you work for the IRS? What do you...
During the day and at night, yes.
I think Mike's selling himself a little short here. Yes, he is the New York and I think it's called the New York and New Jersey state rep, but he is actually vital to what we've done. He's helped take over the website for us. He's helped take over the event calendar. Him, myself, and Seth are probably the most active weekly NEFA members and board members or affiliates that do the work. And he's been actually vital to the transition between Bob and me. So I thank Mike all the time. He does a great work, and we do appreciate all of it.
But Eric, and I say this tongue firmly planted in cheek, New York and New Jersey are not part of New England.
I agree. So with that, I actually, and Mike will vouch for this, I've actually proposed a rebranding of NEFA. I think it should be considered the Northeast Flying Disc Association. And this was my thinking of it, is New York, your disc cap specifically, is the second biggest contributor to NEFA. When I took over, the numbers were Massachusetts, New York, and then the other states combined didn't equal either of the 2 states. So it's kind of weird having New England disc golf and your biggest 2 supporters are Massachusetts and New York, virtual enemies of the state.
And I feel like when NEFA Champs was at J Park, whatever it was, 3 years ago, or I don't know, I'm guessing, I do feel like I heard a lot of comments. Yeah, I'm like, oh, why are we here? Why did we drive all the way to New York? This is NEFA, this is New England. But then again, I know that, like, if New York was to be cut off from NEFA, I feel like I don't see very many NEFA events coming out of New Hampshire and Vermont.
No, and of course, that's the goal, is to bring them back. But they have their own tours, and they kind of went their own way back. I don't know when, because when I first started playing, I know they were still a big part of it. But somewhere along the fray, they got lost. I do talk to both Chris Young of the DGVT and Ryan Pernice of Granite State Tour. I would like them to come back, because I'd like them to use their own tour point series and put it up against the Disc Cap Tour Series and put it up against the Battle of the Seven Seas Tour Series, where you can play locally in your own tour. We're not asking you have to travel, but in the end of the year, you have to make one trip to basically take your best of your tournament series and put them up against the best of another tournament series. You know what I mean? My goal, obviously, is to think of it as like the Champions League. If this is a perfect world and I could do everything I want and everybody on NEFA was on board and didn't have to go through any voting process, I would not have a NEFA tour. I'd have all of them sanctioned, but I'd only do like NEFA main events in one tournament in each of the tours. You know what I mean? Like whatever, say, the A tier here, Welcome to the Jungle, be Massachusetts main NEFA event of the year. Minekill be in New York's, and then try to find if we can get the A tiers in the other states. And that would be my goal. I don't know what year that goal will ever come to fruition, if it does at all, but I think that's the best way to give the community kind of what it wants and deserves.
Would those be weighted more as far as points? In your perfect world, I mean.
I don't know. I don't know if they would be weighted more. I just think that would get more people to travel, because a lot of people love to travel for A tiers, right? Like that's a big thing. But it would really, I think, is if you say you did a Disc Cap Tour or the Granite State Tour, they have their own kind of tour and tour championships. But I would just want one to be like, everyone from NEFA on the board goes to it and really has like a booth, promotes the whole thing. And that'd be like their big kind of showing for NEFA. Because like your own tour should hold the same amount of weight as one event that I'm bringing in. You know what I mean? That's my plan anyway.
So Mike, you're New York and New Jersey rep. Is there much representation in New Jersey?
I think there's one person. So they actually have less people than Vermont.
How many events does New Jersey get that are NEFA?
They haven't done one in a couple years. I've been trying to change that, but it's a hard sell when there really aren't any members down there currently. There have been in the past.
Mighty Goal, is that New Jersey?
Yep.
Where's finals this year?
Finals this year is going to be in Devon's, Mass. We are going to do the Commander. I don't know if you've played it.
I was just going to ask if that was what it was going to entail. That's exciting.
Yeah, so we kind of like molded over for, me and Mike can probably vouch for this. I mean, we went for like 3 months, like trying to find the perfect venue for my first year as president. And I really wanted a New England style course. And when I say New England style, I mean more like tight woods, fairways are carved through the forests. And then I also wanted a course that's like a park. Like if you went and played FDR, you went and played Stonykill, like a park style golf, which is not very common for us, but it is like common when you go toward the New York courses. So I really wanted to kind of have both of those. And Bob said, why don't I try to bring the Commander back? And I thought, that's a fantastic idea. Can we get that done? So Bob worked with Devons to get that approved. And I believe October 13th, we will have one round on the General and one round on the Commander.
Love it.
And it's kind of a centralized location. I'm hoping it's a big enough event that in the future we can put it out to, the 3 real main contributors at the moment, which are Disc Cap, us here in Mass, and the 7 Seas in Maine. And I'm hoping maybe next year I can get more Connecticut involved as well. But I think I would like it to move if I could. I know it's tough to travel, but if I could get it to move, I would do submissions like in January so that I could announce it in March so that you could plan before the season even starts, an extra travel day if you need to take a day off of work or whatever. It's always tough to do it like right now in June. I'm going to announce it this Friday. I wanted to announce it first here on your podcast. So no one actually knows outside of us 8 players right now, and Bob and the NEFA board, of course, knows, but no players actually know, but they'll know Friday. I think you guys say you release this on Fridays?
Yep.
Yeah, so on Friday, once you guys share, I would actually like if you guys posted in there, like check out the NEFA championship announcement in your little subtitles.
Absolutely.
And then I would share that over to NEFA itself and make sure that people listen to it so they can find out.
I see in Devon's there's a fairly cheap Hilton Garden with a Mexican grill right near it, and damn it, I lost the name of it. There's some type of donut breakfast thing. A Dunkin'. There you go. There's a Dunkin'.
There's always a Dunkin'. You can't go anywhere in Massachusetts without finding a Dunkin' on every block. But there is another little cafe too. Like, so if you came out of that Hilton and you took a right, like headed down toward the course, there's a new little fresh coffee breakfast little spot right there at the corner. I think it's like Kathy's Cafe or something like that. Might be a little pricey, but for New York and Mass standards, it's cheap.
Corey, you're checking. Does that mean you're in the point series or whatever? You're in there?
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was kind of like leading the points championship until like the season really started for most people.
Yeah, unfortunately, Danny just updated it, and you have dropped to 6th place.
Yeah, don't worry. I already pulled it up about 10 minutes ago because I haven't checked it in a while.
Danny was just updating like 15 minutes ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so unfortunately, my Flex Series performances with low turnouts couldn't carry me too far into the season, but I'm still above the likes of some names you might recognize. Harry Chase, Jaimen Hume, Jason Lasasso. But I'm sure as soon as some more of these events pop off, I'll trickle down some more. But I'll take it. I'm almost at 400 points in the point series.
That's really good.
It looks like 5th place is like 463.
Yeah, well, actually, I only have half a point on the guy in 7th. So
that's because you don't have to place in the top 5 to get the invite. Like, you can still go to the NEFA championship if you're not in the top 10.
I think it's 50% of who qualifies get first invites.
Yeah, so the top 50%. So if there's 40 players in your division, top 20 will get the first dibs at invites.
I know historically, at least for the tournaments that I've gone to, the championship tournaments that I've gone to, usually invites get extended out past just that initial invite.
For sure. I mean, I don't know about this year with 100 events, but if you think of 100 events and you know that for every player that played one of those, there's $1 from them going to the championship. That's quite a hefty amount of money that'll be added cash.
I think the only one I haven't gone to since joining NEFA was the one in Maine.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, probably a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive. And I think there was another local event going on, possibly. No, definitely was. It would have been Battle of Saratoga, Heiser Creek.
It was the battle. Because I said, none of our guys will want to go up there. And then a whole bunch of our guys did go up there.
Well, I mean, the added cash is pretty significant, with $1 goes to the point series and $1 goes to the championship, not to mention all the members that there's like $2 go from the membership too. Last year, I don't even think I signed up for the Devils one until like 2 weeks prior to it because I didn't even know about it, even though I was a NEFA member. And that was kind of my awakening to Bob that like, how do I not know, right? Like, I'm a guy who plays 25, 30 tournaments, all 7 states. I try to get at least one tournament. How am I not knowing that NEFA was going to be in Maine? And so that was the eye opener of me saying, okay, we need to have some kind of media presence. A little bit of marketing would go a long way.
I see Caitlin Clay's second in Pro Women Open.
Yeah, didn't she? She just won a big event didn't she just beat Carly?
501.
Yeah.
Oh, at 501, yeah.
At 501, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one because that qualifies her for the Grand Prix, right?
Right, yeah. That's that Sunstein that she got, which was really big. There's a lot of good women disc golfers right now. There's another one in Vermont as well, who's part of the Northeast Women's Group.
Oh, Alex Benson?
Yeah.
She's wild. I think last time I saw her, she was like 960 rated.
Right. Better than me, that's really good. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much good things happening, and I expect it to just continue because I feel like, especially with the newer players, and they get a chance to join NEFA or volunteer with us and find ways to give back to the community, because not everyone's going to be a champion and not everyone's going to be able to play forever, but you can always join NEFA and give back to the game forever. Everyone's got a home here.
Looks like you're 4th place in Pro Masters 40.
Who, as I am?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. The funny thing is, too, I think I won one tournament, the one up in Devils, just because I played it last year in the championship. That kind of helped me out. But the Pro 40 is stacked. Like with Justin Shoes and Joe Merckx, Dan Jenkins, Scott Walsh, all these guys are really, really good. And
Jason Gorsuch.
I don't. You know what's messed up? I was just thinking I don't know a ton of the New York Pro 40s. New York is stacked as well. I mean, there's so many good ones out there. You got Cutler, Brinster, Chad Larson, Holmgren,
Tim Giardini, now Jason Lasasso.
Oh, he's 40?
Oh, he's using the rule.
Oh, he's 39. He's one of the cheetahs. Nice. They usually come in and clean up quickly. There's a few of them, but I know you guys have a big tournament out there this weekend. I was looking at.
I was just gonna shame you. I'm like, I don't see Eric Wilson sign up an MP40 for the Jammer.
I know. It's the messed up thing is like I was going to do the Lick tournament down there in Connecticut, but then I had a work event up in Maine on Friday night, so I was going to stay at my brother's, and I was like, oh, I'll just do the BSR Open. It's like right down the street from them, but there's no Pro 40s in it. So now I'm in like the dead zone. I don't know what to do. No matter what I do, if I leave Maine Saturday morning, it's like 3 hours anywhere I want to go. So I'm going to hold out to the last minute before I make a decision.
I mean, I'm less surprised you're not signed up after hearing your comments that you agree that New York is not New England. Although you did say that you wanted to change the name, so maybe that gets you points back. But
no, I do. I mean, I went down to FDR this year, and I do like Jay Park. I went out there and played a team challenge back when I think I was part of the Goats, and we played disc golf out there. And I remember it was like 70 degrees on a Saturday, and there was a friggin' blizzard on a Sunday. I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt during my practice round, and the next day, that's when I played Kurtz and lost to him. There's a hole that you throw down the hill, and I was up 2 holes with 3 holes to go, and I threw down a hill, and I thought it was perfect. He's like, that's OB. And I'm like, what? There's no chance it's OB. I'm like 5 feet from the basket. I walked down. I was like 8 feet from the basket, and it's OB. And then the very next hole was like up the hill, and you throw this like big Annie shot like over the rocks.
Yeah.
It's like a little crevice, and he jammed this like 60-footer on me to win that hole. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to lose to this guy? And then he won the next hole. He won 3 straight holes and beat me 1 up. I was like, this isn't even real life. What is going on right now? How did this guy just beat me? Like I was in control the whole time, playing pretty well.
That's the Kurtz effect.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll tell you, that is a very common thing. It's like losing to Sully at Flat Rock.
Right. They're telling you the whole time about, I designed the course. And you're like, yeah, whatever, buddy. I want to beat you at your own course. And they knew the whole time they're just setting me up. It was a very good time and a really good experience. And that course was really fun. I just remember it being a really fun course. And the wind was doing crazy things. Like the disc would fly straight up in the air. You threw it, nose down. It was a really good time. And you guys have 14 Pro 40s this weekend?
13 now, yeah.
13. Yeah, that's the stacked. Is it a B tier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
13 Pro 40s, 5 FPOs, and 18 MPOs.
Oh, wow. That's good. You love seeing that when the MPOs and the MP40s are really close to the numbers.
Eric, what's the favorite course you've played in New York?
Ooh, that's a good one. What is my favorite course I've played there? I would probably say, that's a toss-up. I would say either probably Warwick, but not really, because Warwick kind of reminded me of Borderland. But I would say maybe FDR probably, even though I stink there. It's like my worst tournament every year, but I still go because I do enjoy the throws. And J Park's another one. Like they're all kind of right there with me. I don't really have I have a top 5 courses I've played, but I don't really have like any courses I don't really like, so to speak. I like any course that gives me at least 3 ace runs, 6 birdieable holes. I like the 6 par 4 type holes. And then I like, a nice mix of gettables, but super technical. And that's how I kind of judge the courses on. If I go out there and there's no ace runs, I'm like, this wasn't designed by a disc golfer. Because that's, to me, I always feel, so I just played a course this weekend, Spoonwood, and it's a really technical, long course, like a par 72. There's like 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s, the rest par 4s. Oh, I don't want to say but it's kind of redundant, right? Like you do the same kind of lines and same kind of shots.
Wait, did you say Spoonwood?
Yeah.
At the NEDGC?
Yeah, exactly.
I played it for the first time like 4 weeks ago, and the course looked great, but 3/4 way through, I'm like, I feel like I've played like 3 holes.
Right, exactly.
All the par 4s are the same.
Right, you're kind of playing the same shots over and over, and then it's really pretty. I agree with that. But there's only one real ace run. And you're like, what? Dude, I need at least 3, right? Like I need to be able to rip on something and watch like a full flight, then go into the basket, because I think the course is designed more golfing than it is disc golfing. Like I feel like there's a loss here. And I think with the way the pros are getting better at the game and people are like, oh, we need to make it harder. But that's not what disc golf really is. Disc golf's a scoring game, right? Like it's like almost a cross between mini golf and golf, but with Frisbees. And that's how I kind of see it. And so I view my favorite courses based off that kind of criteria. But I would say probably FDR is maybe because I play it the most too, right? Like I haven't gone, I know there's some really good courses out in the Syracuse, Albany area, people have told me, but I haven't ventured out that far.
How long does it take you to get to FDR?
I think it's like 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I put some miles on the vehicles, that's for sure. If there's a reason to go, and again, I have a pretty good group here of friends. There's about 5 of us. Most of them play twice a month. They'll travel. I'm probably the only savage that goes all 4 weeks. But we'll go, like we're going to Brewster Ridge. We'll go up to Maine for the championship. We'll go down to New York FDR. We've traveled out to Pennsylvania to go to Jordan Creek.
That's a good one.
That's in my top 5. That's one of my favorites as well. That's the park style golf that I feel like we miss in New England. Like we don't get that where once you get past like out in the New York area and you start to get into Pennsylvania and you start to head down, like there's a lot more park golf. So you get to see a little bit more of the disc flying, which I kind of enjoy other than all the tree hits that you get here. And you know, the thing is you can't hear people be like, oh, that was a great shot if that tree wasn't there, you know? You don't hear that when you go play those courses. You're like, yeah, that was just a bad shot. Like we watch full flight and you're in a terrible position, you know, which is what I enjoy. I would love to add Pennsylvania to the NEFA as well if I could do that.
I was going to ask about that, but I figured with Jersey not having too much contribution, I didn't know. I'm a half hour from both. So
right. If I could get the name changed to Northeast and I could incorporate all the way down to like Northern Pennsylvania and bring that, and then I could get more of all of New York. I think now you're talking, you know, those grants could go further and they could go to see more places and you can get in front of more parks and rec and you can kind of build the game once again through the grassroots, as opposed to like trying to build in like the areas that we're doing now, which are super saturated with people and dog walkers and bike riders. And they all have the voices of their opinions. You know, and they're everyone thinks disc golfers are still, you know, drug addicts and hippies. Where most of us are just, you know, burnt out athletes of other sports, just still trying to find that competitive edge. Not to say that the hippies who founded the game still aren't, you know, a huge part of the community, but the community is so big now, it's much more than just what it once was.
Absolutely. Corey, you got a question?
Man, I feel like I don't know Eric well enough to really put a good spin on it.
That's what makes it fun, man.
Fire away. I'm pretty much an open book. I love talking, so.
In an effort to not ruin it by trying to come up with something stupid, I'll just ask you the OG a question.
Sure.
You are getting ready to drive 4.5 hours to FDR. One small problem, though. You already had your whole vacation all planned out for FDR. You have car troubles. You're like, well, I'm not going to let this ruin my day. Go to Enterprise. They only have one vehicle available. It's the smallest, like Chevy Aveo from 2009 that they even have, and it's the only vehicle they can give you. By the time you pack your cooler for your drinks, which we also have to ask you about, you don't have enough room for your full bag. You're not great at like organizing the dishwasher. You're not great at organizing the car either. So you can only bring one of those little like Discraft or whatever, like satchel bags, little fanny pack bags.
Yeah.
So what 3 discs and what is your putting putter that you're going to bring with you to go play FDR? What are your 3 go-to discs plus your putter?
Jeez. It's funny. When I first started playing disc golf, I only had a satchel bag until like 2017. I used to show up with like 7 discs. I would say, one, my Judge is my putting putter now. I use a classic blend Judge. I either usually go choose red, yellow, or blue. Right now it's black and blue, like my enemies. My 10-year Buzz would probably be one of them. Definitely my Justice for my forehand. And then I'd probably throw, for my 3rd disc, would probably be a Sexton Firebird. Those are probably my 3 most used discs in my bag.
Does it matter if you're playing yellow or white?
No, I can throw the messed up thing is I probably throw my Firebird as far as I throw any of my other discs. I just naturally tell myself I should throw a 13-speed nuke instead. And it's usually, sometimes it works out, but most of the time it's a terrible decision. And I'm like, why didn't I just throw my Firebird? But like, just because my arm speed, I typically tend to throw 9-speed forehands with the Firebirds, then down to the 5-speed Justice, and then the 4-speed Zone. That's like my forehand game, which is probably 90% of my game, 85%. My backhand game, I probably throw a T-Bird, a Buzz, and a Hornet, and a Warden. That's it. I really only play with 7 discs, even though I probably carry 15.
Sounds like a disc golfer.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like it's because, when you're playing a tournament, if I'm playing casually, I'll whip out anything and I'll be like, yeah, I'll just give this a rip. When I'm in a tournament, I tend to be like, I could do this, or I can go with my most confident shot. And it depends on where I'm at, like mentally, whether I call myself a mental midget sometimes out there. And I'll be like, do I need a hero shot to like put the juice back into me? And then I might disc up and throw like a backhand destroyer or a forehand nuke. But hopefully that car is big enough to carry me. I'm 6'4", so right now with the winter weight I haven't shed, I'm probably like 230 instead of my normal 215.
All right, so you're just going to have to push the driver's seat into the back seat and open the sunroof.
Yeah, sit in my back seat while I'm driving in the front. Sure.
Like a dude from Police Academy, probably predating most of you.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't even remember Steve Gutenberg.
The Goot. So what about your preferred course beverage?
Okay, that's a good one. That's probably evolved as much as my disc golf game. Right now, I'm a sour fan. So if I'm going to drink a beer, it's typically some kind of sour ale, typically kettle brewed. I don't really like the lactose ones or the super sweet, like pineapple upside down cake or the marshmallowy flavored ones. Those are kind of gross to me. But the most sour, where like I start to get like the cheeks puckering and the saliva going, I'll typically go with those. So that's usually like a Lone Pine strawberry lemonade or a cranberry lemonade or something like that. There's a few good sours around here too. I used to drink IPAs. I used to love IPAs when I first started, but for whatever reason, even one these days gives me a headache. So I've kind of gone with them. But then sours are probably like the spring and fall. And then in the summer, I'll probably drink High Noons or some kind of seltzer, some kind of vodka seltzer, just because I'm probably really thirsty and it's hot. So I'll drink a couple of those. Those go down a little bit faster. So there's a 4-pack for sure of those. And if I win, I might be asking other people what they're drinking and start drinking that too. And if I lose really bad too. So like, it just depends. If I win or I lose really bad, I drink a few extras. But if I'm right in the middle, I typically only have like 2.
Yeah, that's what I usually say. You either deserve it or you need it.
Exactly. I very much drink that way. But I don't drink any like micro brews or any of that stuff. I treat my beers like I treat my disc golf discs, like high-end stuff. I'm only throwing like 10-year buzzes, sexy birds. 2017, I got like 3 of those in my bag.
The kind of stuff that you know you won't get back.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't lose those. But yeah, I probably drink the same way. So I drink a lot of craft. There's a lot of good beers out in your area too, though.
Any other NEFA stuff that we didn't cover?
Other than if you're not a member, please support. It goes a long way.
With the number of events, you still have plenty of time to get enough for finals.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're basically, even though our season starts in September, like we're halfway through now. What do we only have? April and May, really. We still have June, July, and August, which is,
Yeah, from the submitted events, we're exactly at the halfway point right now.
Yeah, so there's still 50 more for sure. There's plenty of time left.
What's coming up?
Coming up, you've got Bear Falls Open this weekend.
Stidham Series.
The Circle One Flex on Friday. Jammer on Saturday. Week after that, there's a Connecticut tournament, Throw a Rainbow. Another Flex at Meadowbrook. Yeah, there's another 15 events before the end of the month.
I think Meadowbrook has back-to-back flexes, which is Circle One and then 7/8, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll probably start prepping the writing for those pre-tournament stuff tonight. I'll probably start thinking about doing the flex one because that's on a Friday. So I'll probably post that Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'll post probably the Stidham series. And then on Friday, because yours is the B tier, I'll probably post yours on Friday. And that's kind of how I weigh it too on like when they get posted is the bigger tier. I kind of hold toward the end because that's what people are waiting for. So I like to get the flexes out Wednesday if they're on a Friday, Thursday. Some weeks like last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, there was like 8 tournaments. I was like, man, I'm doubling these things up every day. This is insane. That was like a 15-hour week trying to write them. And for all your listeners, yes, I do write my own stuff, and then I do put it into ChatGPT. I am not an idiot. I like to use that to edit my words because I write like I talk, which is choppy and with a lot of shit talk involved. And so I do send it through ChatGPT. I basically write it out on Word, copy it, put it in, and tell them to edit it whichever way I want it edited.
Do you think there would come a time where you just don't do them anymore? Like you can't handle it, or like, well, if you're doing whatever you said, 20, I don't know if you said 20 a week or a month, or.
I'm hoping this sparks some MA2, MA3, MA4 player out there that likes to write, and then they would join like a writing team for this and become part of like the tournament team. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping there's somebody out there that's in any of the 7 states that's creative and like to put their own spin on the tournament hype and kind of showcase that avenue, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that went into writing and just college or whatever and, came out and it didn't apply to their normal everyday life that may want to do it. So that's my hope. But until I reach all my goals, which is, I'd like to have 750 members. I think right now we're at like 420.
Nice.
For your second favorite number.
Yeah.
Let's say it's probably not that, but I figured that's a nice little disc golf innuendo.
Well, you did say that every hole at a course needs to have like an ace run and.
For sure. In 420.
Yeah, does every course need a 420-foot hole? I
think every course does, and if you brought a rangefinder out, I bet you that most of those ones that say 420 aren't 420. They're probably like 410. They just round it up.
Yeah. Well, the line is 420 that you would throw it at.
Yeah, exactly. As the crow flies. For sure. I think that's definite. Every course is, especially the older courses, they all have it in there. Mm-hmm. New courses, you may not find it just because they're trying to wash that stigma away, but the old courses for sure. But I think again, back to the original topic, I think I'll continue to write them at least until one, I get bored and I can't find a replacement, but I don't see myself stopping anytime soon until I at least reach my goals.
That's good, because I'm sure myself and I'm sure other people, especially for the ones, seeing the hype up posts for local events is great, and I love reading them, but also reading ones from courses I haven't been to, or maybe a tournament that I played once a while ago. It's a fun read as you're scrolling through maybe a boring work day. Yeah, for sure. I'll be honest, it is getting much more difficult. In the first 2 months, I was whipping through them. I was like but now I'm starting to use all my words up. I don't want them to all kind of sound the same. That's another reason I'll go into ChatGPT and be like, don't let me sound the same as the last 15 I've wrote to you. You know what I mean? So like, how many times can you say navigate the fairways? You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, what other words? And I have a thesaurus I have open on the screen. So I'm going through that. That's pretty much my prep, is a thesaurus and a dictionary. And then I usually write and be like, what word can I change here to make it sound different than the other one? So that's becoming more difficult because you don't want the same verbiage over and over and over again so that people lose interest in what you're writing. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you write those, do you ask people a bunch of questions about the tournament? 100%. Yeah. So I typically will try to find out. I'll reach out to the tournament director and say, hey, listen, I'm putting together your pre-tournament post. Here's what I've either written so far, or it kind of goes, if you have been reading them, you'll know that it's usually the first part's like a little bit about the course, about the tournament director, who's sponsoring it, who's promoting it, and I'll put that out there, or who's hosting it. And then the second paragraph is more about the course itself. Like, is there specific holes I want to talk about? Is there specific, views that you might see? And at the end is more about the overall experience that the players will have, whether it's player packs or things like that, or food that's going to be served. So there's kind of a little framework to it, but I definitely ask for sure. So Mike's been great for me in terms of the New York courses, for especially some of the ones I've seen, like Shenandoah Creek?
Shenandoah.
Yep, what you guys just said. So I've never been there, so I didn't really have any kind of like visual to work off of. So Mike's been that's what I was saying. Mike's been huge for me. He's really helped me out. He's reached out to you guys. I've never been to Minekill either, which needs to be on my bucket list for next season. So like when those courses come up, I usually reach out to Mike, who will talk to, whether it's, you guys, the TDs, or Jeff, the hero, Wykowski, those type of things. And then they'll send back their stuff, and I'll try to make sure I squeeze in everything that they want to see in there. and at the same time still put my own little spin on it.
All right. I have something not NEFA related at all, but it's been bugging me for like a year now.
Mm-hmm.
What is Scrub City Disc Golf?
Scrub City Disc Golf is my brand. It's my personal brand because I'm probably one of the bigger shit talkers that play. And this game is dreadfully lacking it. When I first started playing, I would talk trash about myself, the game, how good I was, even though I was terrible. But I will say the crazy part was everyone's too nice.
Everybody's so nice.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's a tough shot. I'm like, dude, that shot was terrible. What are you doing right now? Like, keep it real out here. We're playing a sport, you know what I mean? Like, we're not out here playing hopscotch and we're not third graders. Like, we're grown-ups that can talk trash. It started because I would shoot 1,000 rated one round and I would shoot 900 rated the second round, or vice versa. In those 900 rated rounds, you know, I would call my Scrub City rounds. And people always were like, oh, you know, I'm so bad or whatever. And I was like, dude, it's okay to be visiting Scrub City every now and then. We all do it. If we didn't do it, we would be touring. We're weekend warriors. You can't expect yourself to practice, you know, once a week and go out there and shoot 10, 50 rated rounds. You know what I mean? Like, what world are you in? So that's kind of how Scrub City started. And then I bought some towels. And I was like, clean up your game. So I was handing them out to people. And I'd be like, here you go. Welcome to Scrub City. Go clean up your game. And that's how I kind of started it. But then it kind of took on a life of its own here in my local region because everyone kind of knows me as that now because every time they have a bad round, they come over and be like, oh, Scrub City, you know. So that's kind of how it started. And I've built my own little brand for it. And I think I'm actually going to open up a store through 978. You can put the Scrub City logo on anything you want.
Nice. I figured it was just genius double branding for disc golf and towels, but I thought I remembered towels being involved in there somewhere. But
that's how it started, yeah, because I used to hand them out to, you know, I'd be like, it's for people who would go to leagues and they'd be like, oh, CTP would be hole 15. I'd be like, CTT is on hole 3. If you shoot terrible, first tree available, I'm going to give you a towel, you know, and that's kind of how I started, and I really enjoy it because it lets me reflect on my bad rounds too.
Nice.
Because I feel like social media really does, like, no one ever talks about, you know, their 870 rated round. It's always, oh, today, you know, I had my putt going good. I shot, you know, 948 and whatever. And it's always bragging. And I was like, I brag enough during the round that on my social media, I really wanted to kind of highlight my missed putts and those type of things. So my Eric Wilson page is really, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see all of my good stuff. And if you go to my Scrub City page, you'll see all of my bad stuff.
Nice. That's been driving me crazy for like a year. I'm like, oh, man, I know this is Eric, but I don't know how.
Yeah, it's definitely my dark humor that comes out. And I think disc golf needs it because, again, like I said, it's way too like therapy. Like people are like, oh, come over here and cry on my shoulder and tell me how bad your round is. And I'm like, dude, suck it up, Buttercup. Get back out there. Fine.
Rub some dirt in it. Walk it off.
Yeah. Like, what did you think was going to happen out there? You throw a 200-foot forehand and a 225-foot backhand with accuracy. What did you think? You were going to go out here and shoot a ball with death? Like, stop it. But my friends have really taken on to it too. So they've really helped out because a lot of them are, you know, supporters in their own right because they enjoy kind of highlighting their bad stuff too. So if you need Scrub City stuff, you can buy it through 978.
Absolutely. I'm getting one of those towels for sure.
Nice.
Do you have any minis?
No, see, I only started with towels, and then I kind of just was talking to Scott recently because I put it on all my clothes. Like, if you look at me in the front at Scrub City and it's 978 in the back, he was like, oh, you should, you know, I have your logo. I could put it on anything you want if you want to, like, throw it out there. But again, it was always kind of like a passive aggressive, nice gesture. Like, here's a towel. Clean up your game, buddy, you know. So I don't know. But I don't have any minis at the moment. I don't have anything else really other than towels.
You don't have any ideas of like what you would put on the mini? Like I've seen some people with minis that like will have like a smiley face and it says "Don't suck" or better.
For sure. I've seen those as well. I haven't really given any thought. Because I always thought like I was going to do my own podcast. Like that was the plan when I first started too. I was like, oh, Scrub City podcast where we'll have people send in like their lowlights and we'll just shit on them for an hour, you know, and make it fun and funny and everyone kind of take enjoyment in it.
I just asked Corey about his round.
Yeah, right. But then I became NEFA president, and that kind of took, everything else just kind of took backseat to it. I was like, oh, I don't really have time for all that because, full-time job and a full-time professional disc golfer. I just said that for my girlfriend. So she knows I'm a professional because that means I have to play extra time to practice. Otherwise, I'm just donating money. But yeah, so everything's kind of taking a backseat. But I do listen to your podcast. I listen to Tim Walsh's as well. I listen to a lot of the local stuff because it gives me more insight into the local scene. So I do appreciate that as well.
Crazy.
Pat already knew that when he sees the one dot on the listener map.
It's funny you mentioned that, Corey, because I did notice one listen in East Syracuse. So I was like, oh, somebody from the Syracuse Open listened.
Nice.
No, that was these guys. 4 of them went. So I figure at least one of them waited to get there to download it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I listened to it before I left. No, but actually, before I even get out of bed, that's like I wake up too goddamn early on Friday, and then I'm like, well, maybe listening to Pat will put me back to sleep. And it never does.
How did you guys start this?
I just heard a lot of stories, disc golf stories, kind of what you're talking about. Good stories, bad stories. Just, you're in the woods and you hear people talking about the rounds or just a funny story. And I'm like, it's kind of gone now,
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a historian, so I like to keep track of stuff, really. I just thought it'd be fun to listen to in 20 years.
Yeah, it definitely will be, just to see where the game's gone from there and to it will be in 20 years for sure.
And just keep doing it because these guys keep showing up.
Yeah. I mean, you got a pretty big crew to keep going on it.
They keep it going because they do all the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4 guys played a tournament this weekend. 1 guy helped run a tournament this weekend. So there's always stuff to talk about.
And team challenge is half the year, so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's when I think I first got into it, when I saw that you guys were talking about the New York Team Challenge. Because I remember I saw it on Facebook and I was like, what's this about? What? And that's how I started listening to it. I mean, I do know Jaimen. Back when I was a pro for 2 years, and I played the Open division, I did play with Jaimen as well.
Yeah, we got a bunch of rounds in.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I know him. And then I do know Jasan as well. I think I met Jasan, I want to say Greater Hartford Open. Did you play the Greater Hartford Open?
Yeah, like 2015, 16.
Yeah. And so I think I met you and your wife.
Yeah.
So I knew a couple people. The other ones I don't know, and I will meet you in the future. And when you see me, it'll be a totally different character. Right now, I'm in my professional state of mind.
You were talking about possibly doing one for your thing. You lose so many rounds.
Yes, that's the thing. It's hard to control the addiction. It's kind of why I never became a ref for basketball, right? I played basketball since I was 3 years old, and I played I still play today. Like I have a game this Thursday. But they used to always ask me, hey, why aren't you a ref? And I'd be like, I'm a player. I don't have time for that. That's kind of how I feel about disc golf, too. It's like people are always like, oh, you want to run a tournament? I'm like, I'm a player. I don't have time for that. I'll leave that to other people. It's probably because they're better at it, number one. But yeah, so it's kind of, I totally feel like the podcast thing was like a fart in the wind. It came in and left in one other direction.
From my standpoint, I see Jasan and Jaimen running like big time events and not playing in them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, well, that's kind of like me doing a podcast,
Right.
It's kind of the same thing.
It is crazy to see that all of the people that when I first started, especially when I was like back in the AM2 days, are now like people of prominence in the sport, right? Like when I first started, it was Bob Kolchak, Pat DiCaprio, Mike Lazzaro, like all these guys that, we were 800 rated players. And now, 10 years later, Pat and Mike run Connecticut's like Flex Series, and they're the PDGA state coordinator, and Bob's the PDGA state coordinator for Mass. And it's just crazy to see that, we were all on the same card one day, and we were all terrible at the game.
I see that. I think about that with Rivas a lot.
Yeah, Rivas is another one, right? Rivas was like the original social media guy. Like he was doing social media and Instagram stuff way before it was like the cool thing.
Big time, yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, PDJ 70527. Like I know his PDJ number just because of his Instagram. And I used to make fun of him all the time. But now you can't make fun of him anymore because everyone's doing it. They're all copying his stuff,
All right. Hear that, Ryan Travis?
148343.
Why, you guys have another guy who does the same thing?
Exactly the same. Yeah, that's the running joke because everybody knows his PDJ number because he always signs with it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, now Rivas has Shit, what's the name of his company?
Rivas does the group. Don't even get me started on the greatest media team.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, want to hear a funny story about that, right? So I went down to this Chicken Buso event, and he's like, oh, you got to come down. I'm going to put you on featured card. I got the greatest media team filming it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I've never been on camera before. I'll go down there and play. So I drive down there. It's down in like the Connecticut, Rhode Island border. And I get onto the course and I like walk over to hole one, and it's him, Quentin, Dylan, Capiaccioli, and myself. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, where's this camera crew? Like, what's going on? He's like, what, dude? He's like, come on, B. I don't know if you guys know Rivas, but he always says B. He's like, come on, B. You know it's me. I'm the greatest media team. And I just looked at him and I was like, bro, that's the name you're going to come up with? Scott, your media team? You're going to call yourself the greatest media team? This is your first time doing this? I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have expected anything less from you, Rivas. That's why I love you, because you're crazy and ridiculous all at the same time. But he's done a great job with it. I mean, I talk to Rivas all the time. We're pretty good friends, and the greatest media team does a lot of the local events and stuff on camera. I wish he would do the announcing of like the post stuff in the same room, but not over the phone, just because I feel like it misses that. You miss that vibe and that back and forth camaraderie.
Yeah, it's a little harder to interact with somebody when they're not actually there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the only thing that's missing from it. Other than that, I do watch him. He does get me to watch him, so I can't say he's not doing his job.
What one are we waiting for, Jaimen?
Sunstein 501 was.
Oh, Sunstein. Yeah.
501 with Simon. That's coming out pretty soon.
That'll be a good one.
Does he do anything for you guys out there?
Nothing yet, but I have a feeling he's going to. I've always loved working with him. He's a great guy. You're never worried it's not going to happen with him.
No, yeah. He's pretty much the reason like I did Scrub City, because he's like one of those wicked nice guys. And you're like, dude, Rivas, knock it off. Like, you'd always be like, oh, it's a great shot. And you'd look at him and be like, dude, it was like average, like at best,
Very positive.
Yeah, super positive. So I think that's why we get along so great, because I'm not negative, because I'm a very positive person as well, but I do like to make everyone laugh. So I do like to talk a lot of shit, but he's the opposite. I would talk mad shit to him. I used to make fun of the fact he doesn't even wear socks. I'd be like, bro, what kind of athlete shows up to a game and doesn't even have socks on? Like, you're not even prepared. This is why you're not winning. This is why you shoot 980, because you don't really care. A guy who cares about his score is going to put on all the clothes. He's not going to come half dressed. You know what I mean? He just got his haircut for the first time in forever, I think. I saw that on Instagram. I was like, thank God, good haircut, buddy. You're on camera every day. Like, you couldn't, don't even get me started.
Since we mentioned him, I just wanted to point out that Ryan Travis 2637 NEFA number is leading the intermediate division in NEFA.
Oh, is he now?
What was his PDG number?
148343.
148343?
Yeah,
oh.
But his NEFA number is 2637.
Oh, his NEFA number is 2637. Okay. I was like, man, this dude's AM2 and he's got a 4-digit number. Like, what? How much of a bagger can you be?
Right.
That's a big thing, too. I know we put a lot of pressure on players to move up. I don't know if you guys are the same way in New York as we are here in New England. Like, if you win 3 AM3 tournaments, all right, dude, move up. Like, what are you doing? You're
sure.
You're going to beat up on somebody who's been playing for 3 months and feel good about yourself. How do you even sleep at night? But, like, these people do it. And then you're like, I mean, if you go on NEFA and you'll see a guy named Bill Andrews. He's leading like MA50, MA55, MA6. I'm like, dude, at what point do you tell yourself, go pro? Right?
To MP60?
Dude, why? What are you doing?
Maybe he really likes plastic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you want the funny money? Because, like, all those wins are tainted, right? Like, you win 7 events out of your 9 events, but, like, it's like, there's a joke there somewhere about being Johnny Knoxville. Like, at some point, no, dude. Like, that doesn't matter anymore. Like, those are all beginning players, and you've been playing for 6 years. What are you still doing beating them? And you only get better by the competition you play against.
When I first started playing, during the award ceremony, I heard a lot more baggers. You don't really hear that. Personally, I haven't heard that a lot.
Yeah, unless I'm at the tournament. I think I'm like the only person who yells at it. Really, it's pretty much, if you win any AM division and you walk up to get your trophy, I'm yelling, bagger, move up.
It's almost ceremonial.
It is, exactly. It just needs to be said so that everyone kind of gets a chuckle. But no, there are certain, obviously, listen, sometimes you're going to win a tournament because you shot lights out, the best you've ever played, you're not a bag, right? Like you typically shoot 40 and today you shot a 930 and you won the tournament. That's fantastic and everyone's happy for you. But if you do it like 3 consecutive times, like, okay, 5 consecutive times, or you're in the top 3 AM2s 5 straight times, how are you not, testing the waters of AM1 and seeing where you actually, can move up to get better because you are a better player? I didn't win anything in AM2 and I went right to AM1 because my friends did. And I was like, yeah, I'm just as good as these dudes. There's no reason. So I went up there and I think my game completely elevated at a much faster rate than it would have if I stayed in those divisions. You know what I mean? Because I always feel like you play to your competition. Like the pace of the game changes. It's kind of the same jump when you go from MA1 to pro. There's not a huge difference in playing styles, but it's more of the pace of the actual card and the way they play and how methodical it is for them, that you kind of take that through osmosis and become a better player because you've slowed down, even though you don't even notice it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of times I feel like the only difference between maybe not quite the top of MA3, but MA2 and MA1 is just consistency.
Correct.
I mean, there's definitely guys that play MA3 that throw farther than me.
Oh.
And there might be some that putt better than me. But typically the entire package is what, kind of brings them down. They can throw far, but they can't putt and they can't scramble. And then you go from MA1 to MPO and you realize that it's almost typically a whole nother level of consistency, aside from the guys that can throw, 500 feet plus.
Yeah. The funny thing is there's guys in MA3 that throw 500 feet because that's all they've ever done. They just go to the field and just rip. Then you stick them in one of these fairway courses that's in the woods and you're like, you just hit that tree with a Corvette at about 70 miles an hour. That thing is going so far in the rough, we're going to wait a half hour for you to even get out of there.
My favorite line is, how did I even get here? I'm like, well, I could tell you how.
Yeah, I know.
You threw really hard into this tree and it ricocheted off into Narnia.
Yeah, you were like, the gap was 12 feet wide. You decided to throw an uncontrollable 14 speed as fast as you could, and you hit the inside of that tree. Dude, you're in the rough. You're on the other holes. Stop it. Then they come back and they're like, oh, man, I was throwing so good. You were like, no, you weren't. I was on your side. Terrible.
I did want to talk about a NEFA event.
Sure.
If you guys are up for it. I just came up with this myself. I figured I would intro it. This Saturday is another sold-out event presented by Discraft and driven by Innova.
Mm-hmm.
The 2024 Minekill Disc Golf Championship Amateur Event. Tournament director Kathleen Bemis, with the help of Randy Bemis and Jason Lasasso, have put a significant amount of effort to bring its competitors an unforgettable disc golf experience at Minekill State Park. Their unwavering commitment to growing the sport and fostering a welcoming, competitive environment is reflected in every detail of this weekend's preparations. As players of all skill levels come together for the spectacle of disc golf, the community eagerly anticipates the competition, championship moments, and new friendships that will flourish in the heart of the Schoharie Valley. Set against the breathtaking backdrop of the Catskill Mountains and nestled in the picturesque Schoharie Valley, along the scenic Schoharie Creek, Minekill Disc Golf Course offers an exhilarating challenge for its amateur disc golfer. To reiterate last week's professional event post, the course has become a beloved destination for its diverse layout and natural beauty, drawing enthusiastic players from near and far to participate in the special event. The anticipation is rising as we get closer to Saturday, when these players, brimming with enthusiasm and determination, showcase their skills and embrace their competitive spirit. NEFA shares in their excitement, eager to follow their progress and celebrate their achievements. With a weekend full of potential triumphs and memorable moments ahead, the energy from all involved promises to make this an unforgettable experience for all its competitors, spectators, and fans alike. Came up with that all myself.
That guy's a pretty good writer.
Randy, how'd the event go this weekend?
I think it went really well. So we had a few drops, right? The night before. So we showed up in the morning with 71 players. And of course, Danny White was there with Ethan. So we were like, hey, there's a spot open. You want to play? So he helped us set up a ton and then change shoes, I think, and then played with no warm up. So that was pretty great. Big thanks to him for helping us. And then, yeah, the event played out pretty well. Definitely learned a lot. I did a lot of photography during the round, got some good pictures of people playing, but also took a lot of bad pictures that no one's going to see. So hopefully I'll improve my photography game as well when I'm going to tournaments that I'm not playing in. just some lessons learned stuff because we had the two layouts active, the green and the orange. I didn't realize there was like a 40-minute backup from the people playing orange and then the people playing green. I don't know if I want to like change anything with like starting holes or anything to alleviate that, but maybe something for next year to think about. But yeah, I don't know. Generally, it went pretty great.
Is the green and orange layouts like?
It's like white and blue if you were gonna. Yeah, there's just the baskets are colored green and orange, so that's what it's been called forever.
Did you do like every other?
No, we just had MA1 playing orange, which just kind of give them a taste of what the pros played the previous weekend, and then everyone else played green. I thought MA1 would play fast or like the same pace, but it was pretty windy, so I think they were fighting a little bit out there. So yeah, it was a surprising backup. I was like stationed at the pavilion on 18, and I think like an actual like 40 minutes went by from the I think FA1 card, which was playing green, and then like the first card of MA1 showed up. Like I don't know, it was just I was very surprised how much time had gone by. So I don't know if maybe starting them on different holes would alleviate that because there are some long walks on the course. So maybe using those strategically to like keep the pace better might help next time. I don't know.
I'm sure it was still a great time for all involved.
Yeah, no real complaints. We'll see. We sent out a survey to get people's opinions on it, but yeah, lots of smiling faces out there.
Wait, you sent out a survey?
Yes, so Jasan sets a pretty high standard. So we send out a survey after to get people's opinions on certain things and just, find out what they liked, find out what they didn't like, anything to maybe change for next year, just to see what people think.
How many people responded?
I think we just sent it out last night, so I don't know yet. My wife was actually the official tournament director, so she sent that out. We'll be going through that together soon, hopefully. But I think we'll probably give it a week for people to respond.
Nice.
Jason, do you know how many responses you've gotten for the pro side so far?
It's not quite half. I think it's like a third. Every single event that we run, we send out a feedback form because what I found is like people that tell you stuff like after the tournament are usually the people that won it and are like very excited and very happy, or the people that just like had a horrible round and like just want to complain about it. And the most useful information is actually the people that were like just there kind of observing and playing normal. And if you can get their feedback, you can a lot of times like pick up on something that would improve the event for next year. And if you just listen to the people that are complaining or like boasting after every event, it's not really helping you because they're not making up the majority. They're like the fringe. So you get like the bulk of people, and a lot of times like we'll get something and it's like 10 people will say something like, wow, how did I like never even consider that before? But that's like a really good idea. And nobody ever said it to me, but it's something I like pick up on a feedback form.
I assume like 10% will talk about, hey, you did a great job, thanks a lot. 10% will be like, course is a dump. You guys, this place stinks. You need to change this hole. And then like the 80% in the middle are the ones you're actually looking to see.
Yeah, and I try to just look at everything through like an objective lens because, if somebody's upset about something that happened that was very like personal and specific to them, I'm not going to change something.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of people are like, hey, this hole here just doesn't feel right or something like that. And then, it just keeps recurring. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, then maybe I got to take a second look at this hole.
I got a towel you can give them.
But it's a good way to get like good ideas. My creativity can only go so far. And if you have open mind to other ideas, sometimes I can take them or even just like build on them. Like if somebody says, hey, this would be cool to do this.
No, I totally get it. I think it's really cool that you guys do that. Back to that post though, right? Those are my hardest ones when you have a pro weekend and then an AM weekend to follow, kind of like FDR did too. Because like you build all of the course, like the sex appeal, so to speak, of the course in the first post. So your next post is always like to add on to what I wrote about the course already, but you want to give them the same kind of hype. That's why I said, like, as I alluded to in the professional post last week,
But you made me say Schoharie Valley like 3 times.
Yeah, because I wanted it to be fair. Like you try to like really bring the actual local scene in. I do tend to mention like the state park a lot or the creeks or something that's like famous or a landmark for the area so that people kind of know, oh, I've played this course, I remember this, and they can kind of build their own visuals when they read it, especially for someone like me who's never been there, so I'm like, oh, let me just keep reiterating, and I try to I think I dropped it in all 3 paragraphs, actually.
Yeah, well, if Jason didn't mention it a couple times, I wouldn't have known how to pronounce it, so thank you, Jason.
You're assuming I say it right, so
Well, I am.
I mean, it is your tournament.
Exact.
it's like, is Minekill 1 or 2 words?
You know, I used to do it as 1, but the sign out front says 2, so I go 2.
Which sign?
I Googled it.
There's 2 signs.
Mm.
The state sign and like the park sign are different. One is 1 word and one is 2 words.
I've been playing on the New York Team Challenge team there since it started. I've gone to every single Minekill Disc Golf Championship, and I still have no idea.
Yeah.
I just go to my PDJ page and look up the tournament that way.
So you guys have it as 1 word, like, right? Minekill Disc Golf Championship?
Well, the logo this year was 1 word,
Yeah.
but it is MKGC, which kind of like implies it's 2 words.
If you Google it, it's 2 words, Minekill State Park.
Yeah, so you can find it spelled both ways. I've actually had like conversation with people about this. The original Dutch word is 1 word, and then at some point, I think it just got like kind of Americanized. And
Wait. Minekill is a Dutch word?
yeah, it's Dutch for stream of a mine.
Yeah.
Or something.
Kill is, yeah. Kill is like creek or stream.
Yeah.
Like Fishkill, New York is all 1 word. Fishkill. Oh, there's a lot of, I mean, kill is huge around here, so yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. That's good knowledge to know.
Yeah, the Albany area originally had a lot of Dutch settlers. It used to be called Fort Orange.
So is Stonykill 1 or 2 words?
Stonykill's 1 word on all their pages.
You know what's funny? I've been to Stonykill a million times, and I didn't even put that kill with the other kill. I just thought kill was like some battlegrounds or something from some war. I'm not a history buff, so I just always assumed it was some kind of like Civil War battleground.
That's gruesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just to add to the confusion just a little bit, the Stonykill, like the actual river that it's named after, is 2 words.
Of course it is. You guys, it's the Dutch. What do you guys expect, right?
Well, I mean, it is set against the breathtaking backdrop of the Catskill Mountains, which is all 1
yeah,
word.
that's true.
Have the Catskill Mountains been like sneaking under the radar about this whole kill talk this whole time?
Mm.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't even know that either. There's a mountain range out there too, not the apple.
So now they're naming mountains after rivers? What's even going on here?
I don't know.
These guys don't know if they're coming or going.
I don't believe the Dutch. I believe they found the word. It sounded good, and they were like, you know, we're just going to run with it. Everything gets a kill on it. There's a stony kill. There's a mine that we used to shaft over here. It's now Minekill. Where do we go to next? What else you guys got? Any other questions?
Typically, when we hit this time, we do a quiz.
Sure.
We have time for either Syracuse Open or a quiz.
What if we do like a quick quiz and then next week we do Jammer in Syracuse?
That sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We're behind on skip base. We're behind on Syracuse. But that's the fun thing.
So maybe we go quizless.
Do you want to do Syracuse Open?
I say quiz.
Quiz?
Yeah.
Jason, you got time for a quiz? I know you said you had to head out early.
I gotta leave early, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Mike and Eric, you guys up for a quiz?
Yeah, fire away.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Jason, thank you. That makes it even better. Then we could talk about Syracuse next week.
Yep.
And how Jason bagged in the MP40 division.
Yeah, I got to hear about that.
Yeah, sounds good. I will. Good talking to you guys. I will listen to this Friday and enjoy your quiz.
Hey, welcome to the club, Jason.
The Old Men Club.
The best disc golf group.
Give me 2 minutes here.
Do we do 3v3 for speed of play?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know. Some 3-person discussions can add to
We got to be
things
quick. You got to
sometimes.
either
But you
know
got
it,
a
you don't.
tiebreaker.
I mean, this can't be a true tiebreaker, though.
No. When you have 3 people, you get that third person.
Yeah, you get
Oh,
the third
okay, I see
person.
what you're saying.
break the tie.
What are we looking for teams? So we got 6. So 2 teams of 3. Eric, you want to pick 2 people?
There you
I don't
go.
think Alex has said a word this podcast. Randy said a handful of words. What do you got?
Alex and Mike, and then you can do Corey, Randy, and Jaimen.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
It's only because that's how it's lined up on my screen.
That's
That
a
works.
totally valid way to determine, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was the
Sure.
easiest.
Usually I use random.org.
Are
Assign everybody a number.
you going to explain the rules of the game?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. When's the last time you actually explained the rules, Pat?
I rarely explain the rules, but they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
Basically, I got 2 categories here. You're going to pick category 1 or category 2. I'm going to ask you a question based on the category you chose. You answer the question. If you get it right, then you have to tell me whether or not it is a disc. So it's worth 2 points.
Okay.
If you get it wrong, the other team gets the pick, and obviously it's worth 2 points for them.
Okay.
So first you answer the trivia question, and then you answer yes or no if it's a disc mold name.
Yes, an officially PDGA legitimate disc. So I got Team May, MAE, and C Junior. I will say, Eric, that each category has a theme.
Okay.
Theme can help you but not always.
Okay.
Like last week, one of the rounds was music. That doesn't necessarily help you. It's just a bunch of music questions.
Okay.
But if it's like cities, then, that might help. So May, that's Mark, Alex, and Eric. What category would you like, 1 or 2?
1.
All right, sounds good to me.
Take one.
Did I say Mike?
Yeah, you said Mark. That's okay. I know who you meant.
Yeah, my bad. So category 1, question 1. What state amphibian of Oklahoma gets a mention in the pop song Joy to the World? What state amphibian of Oklahoma gets a mention in the pop song Joy to the World?
I have nothing for either angle of this.
State? You say the state amphibian?
What state amphibian of Oklahoma gets a mention in the pop song Joy to the World?
I don't think I even know the song.
I know. All I know is the Joy to the World part. That's all that's coming to my head is Joy to the World. I don't know the rest of it, but I should know the state amphibian of Oklahoma. Hold on. I do watch a lot of Nat Geo Wild.
I have a feeling that's not the song that, if it's a pop song, I don't think it's that song.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I want it.
You got about 20 seconds.
What do you guys have for an animal? Bullfrog?
I
If
have
it is
no
a
idea.
bullfrog, we need to, we can't let Corey get the bullfrog. I'm happy answering bullfrog just so if it is bullfrog, Corey can't answer it
I think that
because I have no better options.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I know it's a frog. I'd go with that. That's my think.
You guys good?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Is the bullfrog.
Yes.
Ah,
I had it. Oh, man.
Jeremiah was the bullfrog, was a good friend of mine.
Oh, that's the. Okay.
Oh, okay. That wasn't the song I was thinking of.
Me neither. That's wait, what? That it was a bullfrog, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Joy to the world, all the boys and girls.
Yeah.
Joy to the people in the deep blue sea. Joy to. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay, yep.
Yes, it's a disc.
Yes, definitely a disc.
Are you guys sure?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a disc.
Yeah, definitely.
Bone Star.
Innova Champion Discs, November 4th, 2018.
Oh wow.
Corey putts with them.
yeah, my putters. I'm more
that's
of an
why.
against the grain kind of guy. I did meet somebody else at the Syracuse Open that mentioned something about putting with bullfrog. So add one more to the list, boys.
Nice.
2 of you.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Oh, we got 2. Yeah. Top seller.
Corey, Jaimen, and Randy. What category? 1 or 2?
Do we just feel out two?
Just test the waters. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Question 1, category 2. In the Odyssey, where does Odysseus have to travel to consult with the blind prophet Tiresias? In the Odyssey, where does Odysseus have to travel to consult with the blind prophet Tiresias?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not going to get this one. God damn it.
I feel like Bullfrog was easier than this one.
This is where Alex would be like, well, I haven't read the Odyssey in a couple of years. But... Shit.
All right. Greek names that look good on a disc. I got Crete. That's all I got.
Isn't the Odyssey about what's his face coming back from Troy?
Maybe.
Is that the story about the sirens and the Cyclops?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the Odyssey, though?
It's like all the islands between Turkey and Greece.
Yeah, just
And like Crete is the only big
quick,
one.
start listing off all the islands in between Turkey and Greece.
All I got is Crete. That's it.
That's one more than I have.
Yeah.
Like the second half of Concrete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a replay of the question, Pat?
In the Odyssey, where does Odysseus have to travel to consult with the blind prophet Tiresias?
It ain't looking good for the home team.
The only other island is like Cyprus, and that's
Oh.
also a tree name.
I like it. That's also a disc.
And that could be a here we go.
AGL makes that
Yeah.
disc.
Let's do that.
Cypress, Pat.
What do you got, May?
God damn
Fuck.
it, that sounded so good.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I was 100%.
I
in
was
on
so into
Cyprus.
it. Damn.
You guys got anything?
I don't.
I have a rough guess.
What's your rough
What's
guess?
your guess?
The classic prophet when you're talking about Greek mythology is the Oracle of Delphi. So Delphi would be the place.
Works for me. All I had was Thermopylae, and I know that ain't right. So go with it.
Yeah.
You guys good with Delphi?
Yeah.
We were looking for the Underworld. West Side Discs,
Oh, that
October
makes-
30th,
Oh.
2020.
Outside of the box.
Not an
We were
island.
thinking about Greek islands. Like, come on.
All right, May. Category 1 or category 2?
Which one's got animals? That's the only thing I know.
Yeah, let's stick with one.
Yeah, one probably has the animals.
All right, question 2, category 1. The bullhead type of what fish has horn-like barbels near its mouth that look like whiskers? The bullhead type of what fish has horn-like barbels near its mouth that look like whiskers?
The bullhead. What do you say? The bullhead fish?
The bullhead type of what fish?
Catfish?
Yeah, catfish, right?
You guys good?
Happy with catfish.
Is
Yeah.
the catfish a disc?
Is the catfish a disc? I would say.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, me neither. But I only throw Discraft, Innova, or Dynamic, so everybody else is off my plate. What about Is the catfish part of like the wild discs thing?
It could be wild. I don't remember what the name of it. It's like there's aquatic discs or something like that. I could also see it being a Lone Star disc. They've got a good chunk of like, Texas
like
animal
armadillo
type
and
things.
stuff too. There you go.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
No?
catfish is only good for lying to girls, so I don't believe it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy with no then.
No?
No.
Accurate.
You are correct.
Nice,
Nice, good
two
call.
on the animals. Get out of here.
All right, C Junior. What do you got? 1 or 2?
I'm terrified of 2.
Yeah.
Should we steal the animals from them?
We should have
since
never
they're-
tested the water training. This is your fault. You want to speak up about something? Speak up that we take the animal categories.
Yeah, we do the animals.
Yeah.
Category 1.
Yep.
Yep.
What type of monkey is named for its appearance when it hangs upside down with all 4 limbs and tail? What type of monkey is named for its appearance when it hangs upside down with all 4 limbs and tail?
Spider monkey?
That's my guess.
Good
Yeah.
answer. And
Yeah.
it's an end of a disc.
It is. Let's do it.
That was spider.
Spider monkey?
Yeah.
Is the spider monkey a disc?
God damn it.
Full name Spider Monkey on the disc. Oh God. Okay.
That's a tougher one. I thought you guys were saying the spider monkey was a disc with how confident you are.
No, just this in of a spider. I
Yeah.
was thinking.
That makes more sense.
Okay.
Well, there's no way it goes 2 in a row, right?
I was kind of thinking yes, but not for that same reason.
Okay, so we're approaching from 2 angles.
Yeah, that means we have it triangulated.
We're flanking. We're flanking the answer or the question. I don't know which one point, but yeah, I mean, cool.
What do you think, Randy?
I don't like it as a disc name, but
I don't like it either, and that's why I think it is one.
it's long.
Are they long
I don't know.
or just long limbed?
No, like the word spider
But like,
monkey,
think
it's like
it's
spider
long.
monkeys. Think how
12
deftly
letters.
they dive among the trees.
I was thinking that Ricky Bobby, like coming at you like a spider monkey. I like your tree thoughts. I don't know. We could do spider monkey. We
That
say yes,
overruled
it's
anyway.
fine.
2 out of 3. Spider monkey
Do
is a disc.
Gorilla Performance Discs, June 3rd,
Ooh.
2024.
The GPD baby.
Did you say June 3rd last week?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
This is where people first hear about these new discs most of the time. I mean, at least for me.
Also, the last time you'll ever hear about a lot of these discs.
I've never even heard of gorilla. What was it? Gorilla what? Athletic?
Gorilla Performance Discs.
The GPD. Nice.
All right, May. What category? 1 or 2?
Oh, we can still choose one if we want.
Yep.
What do you got? I'll let you guys choose.
I'm not bad at Greek mythology if we wanted to go that way, but I'm also happy with animals.
Dude, let's give these guys a chance to hang around. We'll go with 2.
2?
What a competitor.
I like to play with my victims.
Question 2, category 2. In Greek mythology, what was the name of the earth goddess who united her son, Uranus, to produce the 12 Titans? In Greek mythology, what was the name of the earth goddess who united with her son, Uranus, to produce the 12 Titans?
Alec, we're leaning on you here, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me just a second to think. I have one answer that I'm not 100% sure on, and I don't want to say it in case I think of something better and it's wrong and they get it. There's this whole like meta strategy here with you can't explain too much because then you're giving your opponents more
For
information on
sure,
the steal.
But is it
Does
really better if
explaining
it's
your
wrong?
strategy count towards your time?
what was
20 seconds.
the Earth goddess? She did what again?
In Greek mythology, what was the name of the earth goddess who united with her son, Uranus, to produce the 12 Titans?
What's your thought?
The only thing I'm coming up with is Gaia.
Yeah, that's Greek. I think most of the ones I'm thinking of are Roman.
I mean, I'm thinking Greek, but what was Achilles' mother's name?
Not an earth goddess.
Okay, I know she was a goddess.
That's not her name.
Okay, yeah, go with Gaia. That works for me.
Yeah.
You guys good?
Yep.
Is the Gaia a disc?
I want to say yes.
By Greek performance discs, get out of here.
I don't know of it specifically, but it does seem like a pretty good disc name.
For the Earth goddess, yeah, I would assume someone's probably got it on there, right?
Yeah.
But who has the Greek gods on their disc? Isn't it?
Discraft for
They
the
all
most part.
Discraft. Is there a Gaia in Discraft?
Could be a really recent one. I mean, we know we've got June 3rd discs coming up. So.
I don't think so, but unusual for me. But I'll let you guys make the choice.
What do you guys think?
My thought is yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
I knew it. Why did I let you guys friggin' leave?
They made a lot of good points. They didn't want to hear it.
All right, C Junior, what do you guys got? 1 or 2?
Not 2. I don't think I can do 2.
Yeah, let's stick with
Yeah.
one.
All right, question 4, category 1. Emerging from eggs the size of footballs, newly hatched young of what largest living fish are 2 feet long? Emerging from eggs the size of footballs, newly hatched young of what largest living fish are 2 feet long?
The largest living fish. You think it's gonna be one of those ugly motherfuckers that like go real low? There's gonna be something more top dwelling. What's a big ass fish?
Is a shark considered a fish, Randy?
That's where I'm stuck because I'm a nerd. So like, I don't think of sharks.
Sharks don't
when I
leave
hear the word
eggs,
fish.
right? Don't they come?
They do. They like.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah, there's a few different options. Like great whites do like live birth, but it's just an egg hatching inside them. But
Okay, that's
anyways,
bullshit.
It's fake live birth.
How do you lay an egg if it never exits you?
You just don't lay it. You just like it just chills.
What's the point of the egg then
You
at that
don't.
point?
All right, so if we're talking about birth, does it count towards our time, Pat?
Big ass fish laying eggs 2 feet long.
Football size egg.
I feel like all eggs are football shaped. Just
And this is also the biggest fish, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So biggest shark is a whale shark.
So it's not a whale.
Oh,
Why would they call it a whale?
Not to be confused with a shark whale.
yeah.
Man bear pig.
Biggest bony fish is I don't even know, sturgeon or anybody.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that starts off that big besides like some kind of a shark. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's got to be a shark then.
Yeah.
Let's go whale shark then.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, sure.
It's the whale shark.
Come on, I can't believe that took that long. Is it serious?
It's a podcast. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, let's
Why
pretend we
did
knew it the
put
whole
fish
time.
immediately whale shark? There's nothing else that was even.
Is it freshwater or is it saltwater fish?
Some of us don't have cable, Eric.
Whale shark is obviously saltwater.
I don't consider sharks fish, so
You don't?
that's the
I
problem.
don't see no saltwater touching the good part of New York.
So if you don't consider them fish, what would you consider a shark since it's not a warm-blooded animal like a mammal?
A shark.
A shark.
Yeah.
Oh, they have their own special.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you could call it a cartilaginous fish. But
So because the name grouper, bass, are they considered fish? That's the same definition as shark. That's the only difference is the name.
no, like sharks are like older than trees. Like they evolved like millions of years before bony fish. I'm a nerd, so that's like they're not related
You
really.
did not have to tell us that, Randy.
I
I
know.
think we all got it.
Realistically, there's no such thing as a fish.
But is a whale shark a disc?
Yes, that's the most important question. Thank you,
Ooh.
Corey.
I mean, if it's dropping the fattest eggs you've ever seen in your life, I can't imagine they wouldn't use that to promote a disc. Like, our disc dropped the fattest eggs, the
That's
golden
the
eggs.
commercial.
I would spin it like that.
You know, everyone knows that about them.
It'd be better than Ricky Raksaki destroying course property with his slammers.
Do you think that basket was damaged by a tree, or like they actually like ran one over with a forklift?
said they blew
for
it
that
up.
Commercial. Oh yeah, they definitely.
I have no
blew it
idea
up.
what you're talking about.
So I say whale shark is a disc.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Randy, you good?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh,
Okay.
So close.
Swing and a miss.
So halfway through, it looks like May is up 5-3.
Oh, give
May,
me that.
what category? 1 or 2?
One.
Yeah, one.
Sure.
Same with 1. Question 5, category 1. What predator of the deep includes the name of an Asian predator? What predator of the deep includes the name of an Asian predator?
I'm sorry, what? Of an Asian predator? Like the Asia, like ASIAN?
Correct.
I mean, are we looking for a tiger shark?
I like that.
It's pretty good.
Panda shark.
Panda's the first thing I thought of too.
A cat bear shark? Or
Yeah,
bear cat shark?
Asian predator. And what was the first half of that?
What predator of the deep includes
deep.
the name of an Asian predator?
I mean, that works if you want to go tiger shark, but I don't think tiger sharks are that deep. If
Yeah.
not like sperm whales, like that's something that's going down deep and catching squid. Like tiger sharks.
Or like anglerfish or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know what they mean by Asian predator. I mean, is it a land predator or is it just something over there in the Pacific? Like, doesn't make. But I think tiger shark's the best because that's the closest we're going to get for Asian predator, right?
Yeah. It seems like all of these are like hybrid animal names.
Yeah.
Like we got bullfrog, catfish, spider monkey, whale shark. So I think it's going to be something like tiger
That's
shark.
some deep analytics in the answers. I like it. I'm going with that.
You guys good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the tiger shark a disc?
No.
I know the shark is, right?
The shark is, yeah.
Shark is, but it's got to be a specifically tiger.
Is the tiger one as well?
Was it? I don't remember.
Because, I mean, you can't have a tiger. You can't have a shark disc. You can definitely not have a tiger shark disc.
I don't think there is a tiger, is there?
I mean, it seems like it'd be right up Innova's alley. So if they don't have it,
Yeah, I'm going to say no. Last time you guys got me to wave my thoughts on Gaia, no for the tiger shark.
I'm fine with deferring to you on this
That's
one.
Yeah.
like Memorial Day weekend 2024 from Gorilla Performance. I can't see it.
Yeah, let's go with no.
No, pal.
Sounds good to me.
No? I will say that the Tiger is Paradigm Discs, January 19th, 2014, but there is no Tiger Shark.
Wait, what'd you say? The
Good
disc was
call.
1914?
2014.
I was like, dude, 1914, they had disc tiger? No wonder no one heard.
January 19th.
Gotcha. So there was a tiger, there was a shark. There's no way you can make a tiger shark.
Yeah. There's a whale, there's a shark, but there's no whale shark. What's that, 7-3, Alex?
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is kind of starting to become a whooping.
Uh-oh.
Not if we get
There's a lot
steal.
left.
Oh, okay.
There is a lot left. All it takes is one steal, and they're back on it.
What do you got, C Junior? One or two?
Close out one.
Yeah.
If there's a one, I think we should take it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't believe Alex pointed out the hybrid name thing. I did not pick up on
Me
that.
neither.
Nope. Thanks a lot,
Are you
Alex.
not writing these down, Randy? Come on.
I am, but I'm not like deciphering the code. I don't know.
All right. Question 6, Category 1. Native to South and Southeast Asia, the bitterong also goes by what name familiar to those around the University of Cincinnati? Native to South and Southeast Asia, the bitterong also goes by what name familiar to those around the University of Cincinnati?
Is that the Bearcat?
It's Bearcat, yeah.
Yep. That's what I
I
thought.
knew this would come up someday.
Are you sure? Bearcat or cat bear?
I think we're going to go Bearcat.
Bearcat.
Is the Bearcat a disc?
Yeah, because of course it is.
I want to just go yes because, like, why would he bring this up if not to hurt me?
I'm game.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Yep.
Lone Star Discs, September
Let's
18th,
go.
2023.
All right, we needed that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Final 4 questions are all from Category 2. 7-5, May. Question 3, Category 2 for May. Though Rhea was his mother, in one tradition, what god was brought up by Sapphira, the daughter of Oceanus? Though Rhea was his mother, in one tradition, what god was brought up by Sapphira, the daughter of Oceanus?
It's a little too obscure for me.
I've never been glad a question is not mine more.
It might end up being ours, though.
And that's fine. It's a free.
That's true.
What was the question again?
Though Rhea was his mother, in one tradition, what god was brought up by Sapphira, the daughter of Oceanus?
Oceanus has like 50. Isn't she the one with 50 kids?
I mean, I just kind of assume all gods have like 50 kids in Greek myths. The only thing I have is Poseidon, and that's running strictly off of Oceanus, sounding like ocean.
Yeah.
I do. This is crazy, I think. And then I think it's Doris. She's the only one that's like named out of the 50 kids of Oceanus.
Can I hear the question one more time?
Though Rhea was his mother, in one tradition, what god was brought up by Sapphira, the daughter of Oceanus?
So we're not looking for a daughter of Oceanus.
So then I would say, I don't know if Poseidon's one of the kids, though. But go with it. It works for me.
So it'd be Poseidon's mother is Rhea, but brought up by Sapphirus.
I'm with you. You know more about Greek than me. I just remember, this was like 6th grade. That's the last time I remember doing anything.
Yeah, I'll defer to Alex.
Well, it's not a very confident answer, but Poseidon's what I'm coming up with.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Is the Poseidon a disc?
Dude, Alex, what a hit.
We take those. That's a really good tree kick is what we call
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Is the Poseidon a disc? I don't think so.
What about Neptune discs?
Neptune is discs. Neptune is Roman, though.
Is it? Okay, I don't know. I just know.
Yeah, the planet names are Roman.
They had like Trident. Maybe that's why I was thinking of Poseidon.
Mm.
Poseidon's got to be a disc, no?
I mean, you were right last time, so I don't have any problems going with what you had.
Yeah, I kind of like it as a disc.
I have to think. I mean, but only Discraft does the Greeks? I know it sounded really weird when I said it that way, but it's Greek.
It's the only one that I know of that's doing Greek gods.
10 seconds.
And we don't want Kyle Hirsch getting too mad at us.
I mean, I'd say
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm good with yes.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, no.
Damn.
Oh.
That's such a good name. Someone's going to have to come up with it now. It'll probably be
I'm sure they will.
June 17th, 2024.
All right, CJR. Question 4, Category 2. What type of monster with a woman's body, like Medusa, has claws and serpents for hair? What type of monster with a woman's body, like Medusa, has claws and serpents for hair?
Gorgon.
That sounds
Leader
great.
of the Gorgonites.
They just did advertisements for it. So
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So the new,
yeah.
that's a new Innova disc, right?
mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yep.
Is the Gorgon a disc?
Yep.
Innova Discs last week.
Damn, I feel like we're just throwing these guys layups. First, it's the Cincinnati Bear.
Innova Champion Disc, May 20th, 2024. Well, it's all about when you pick them.
Yep.
Yeah, sure it is. 8-7.
All right, final round. I got 8-7. May is in the lead.
Yeah.
Question 5, Category 2. In 1934, the Burlington Railroad introduced the first of what streamliners named for a god of the west wind? In 1934, the Burlington Railroad introduced the first of what streamliners named for a god of the West Wind?
Dude, they got Gorgon and we're getting this. Get out of here. The West Wind?
It's made it look easy.
Yeah. Alex, you better come hit a home run right now. The West Wind god of Greek mythology?
Fucking hell.
Toro?
I don't think it's Toro.
Me neither, but what other... Just trying to throw some things out there. Disc, I know that sound like wind.
Yeah, I have one that I'm not confident in, which would be Zephyr, and I'm running off that from a half-remembered thing about gods and knowing Zephyr is a disc.
Zephyr is a disc.
I mean, listen, you hit a home run with Poseidon. You're the only one that actually knows Greek mythology. I don't know how, but we're going with it. Let's go with it. I'm with you. Let's ride out this victory.
Yeah, let's go Zephyr.
Yeah, Zephyr it is.
Is the Zephyr a disc?
What?
Yes, it is.
You're talking about layups.
Dude,
I
you knew what Zephyr was? Alex, that was ridiculous.
No, but I knew it was a disc.
Yeah, we lucked out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the easy part.
Good stuff right there, Alex. Taking us home with a victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
Final question, just to finish it out for CJR. What dog who guarded the entrance of Hades is often described as having 3 heads and a serpent's tail? What dog who guarded the entrance of Hades is often described as having 3 heads and a serpent's tail?
Wait, don't tell me this one.
We ended up on the wrong inversion of this.
Hang on.
I'm not going to tell
I
you.
know, I'm trying to think. I know this one. Damn it. Oh, I almost had it. It was right there at my face, and then it settled back in the back of my head.
Come on.
You got this, bud.
This is like the only one I've known.
This is the only one I should know.
None of you guys play Dungeons and Dragons, I take it.
Fuck. No, but I've definitely seen Disney movies. Cerberus.
You got it.
Yes.
Is the Cerberus a disc?
Yeah, because of course it is.
I have no idea.
Badass
so, yeah,
disc name.
Yeah, let's go with yeah.
Only comes
Yes,
in
we
red
are.
and black.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, damn it. How is that one not on there?
So May is our winners, 10-8.
That's pretty close.
It was closer than we liked it, but
Yeah,
We'll
those
take it.
last two. If we had flopped those last two, I think it would have been a lot less stressful.
See, our animal person wasn't as good as your Greek person.
I mean, that was crazy how good he was. I'm going to go and tell my girlfriend, like, this guy must study the Greek mythology. How the hell is it?
This is me playing Hades when I'm waiting for the podcast to start up every night.
That's cheating. I'm not playing Disc Golf Valley with mods.
Oh,
Did anybody have anything they wanted to talk about before we head out?
no, but I appreciate you guys having me on. That was awesome.
That's
No,
good
thanks
time.
for coming on.
Real quick, has anyone claimed the June monthly?
I don't think so. Nothing for June, and then July is up at Greg's.
Right. I'm thinking last Sunday in June, I might do it at OKDGC. So keep an eye out for that one.
Dang, I ain't doing nothing. That was supposed to be a free weekend for myself to like not do anything after this crazy month of June. But now I gotta play a monthly, so I'm free.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex, Corey, Randy, Jason, and Jaimen. And thanks for coming on, Mike and Eric.
Appreciate you having us.
Thanks, Matt.
Sweet up.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Bet.